There's a reason why a Serbian film is on pretty much every list that you're going to come across for the most disturbing film ever made or the most extreme horror films ever made. It's on all of those lists, and for good reason. And so I've been thinking about watching it for years and just, I don't know, I think I had an idea in my head that because it's banned in all these countries and it's so intense and so extreme that it would be hard to get. It was not, like at all. I ended up finding it on Vudu. Not only was it on Vudu, it was free with ads. So I don't know. I guess I was just very misguided about that. So I finally watched it. It's on all these lists for a reason, right? So I'm expecting it to have a lot of gore. I know that there's going to be a lot of sex in it. And so as a result, I was expecting to feel all that sort of adrenaline that you get from those things. I was quite surprised by the range of emotions that this movie elicited in me. There was a general sense of concern throughout the entire movie. No. At times, confusion. At one point, I even busted out laughing. Not sure if that was supposed to be funny, but alas. But none of those things took away from the sense of dread that kind of simmered across most of the movie. Oh! Wait, what? If you're not familiar with the story, the basic premise is that we have this retired adult film star named Milos, and he has settled down, he's married, and he has a young son. But money's kind of tight, and so he gets offered one final movie, one final adult film movie, and he should be set financially, and this, perhaps a few red flags, but because it's a lot of money, he goes along with it. So in a shocking turn of events, this is not just an ordinary adult film movie, and we just sort of fall down this well of depravity that just gets worse and worse and worse. And you think it can't get any worse. It does, in fact, get worse. I do think it's worth noting that the version that I saw is rated R. There is an NC-17 version. When I looked it up online, it said that the difference is about a minute worth of footage. Again, more easily accessible than I realized. Apparently you can buy the DVD through Walmart for the NC-17 version. So if you're like me and you're kind of starting to get into more extreme horror, whether you're looking at books or movies, not everybody's going to be wanting the same things. If you are specifically looking for extreme gore and you don't mind a lot of sexual content, this certainly fits that bill. If you're looking for something that has those things but also has some depth to it, I don't think that there's really a clear-cut answer to that here. When you have something like this, it's going to be less palatable to people. So even if they're trying to push a message or some depth for people to consider when watching it, a lot of people aren't going to be capable of picking up on that because there's too much else going on and it's distracting at the least. And also they might just hate certain themes throughout this movie so much that they just refuse to even consider that there is something more to it. It is worth considering that just because something is controversial does not necessarily mean that it's interesting. But I did find this interesting to watch. I do think there's an opportunity to find more in it than just a a slash fest or a gore fest. The thing that kind of sets this movie apart from a lot of other horror films is the fact that it does, you're dealing with an adult film star making an extreme adult movie. So you might be able to guess what sort of taboo things are brought up, but any time that you're bringing the subject of children into this type of movie, I mean, that's why, right? Like, if you're trying to make people feel repulsed, if you're trying to make people feel horrified, then it makes sense that you're including things that have that effect, right? And I think that that subject is so sensitive that it has the intended effect, but it also pushes people away who might have otherwise enjoyed the movie. Something worth noting, in the rated R version, they never cross that line with what they show. The insinuations themselves are disturbing enough. So watching this whole movie, something that I guess I kind of built up in my mind over the years is just, I kept seeing it everywhere. So I figured it was going to be the worst, best, most intense, most disturbing, I don't know. I kind of built it up in my mind, and I'm not going to say I was disappointed by it because it definitely is disturbing. It definitely makes you feel uncomfortable. You feel like you shouldn't be watching it. And so it's very effective in that regard. As far as, is it a good movie? I mean, it definitely made me feel something.
Oh, oh my God. Oh, oh.
And that is a threshold that I do have for whether or not something's good. I probably wouldn't watch it again unless I was with someone else who hadn't seen it and wanted to watch it for the first time. Then I would. It might not seem like it matters for this type of movie, but something that kind of takes me out of it is the fact that they have to choose him, right? Like, they know they're making this extremely taboo art, they think of it as art, adult film, but they want him in particular because he's just really good at what he does. And it's like, even if he was, like, if this were real life, I feel like they could have gotten so many other people to perform in their movie that would not have caused them so much grief, that like, there's a lot of people who would have wanted to perform in that type of movie. And so the fact that no, none of that matters. He's just that good. Even though it's going to cause issues, and that you have to be secretive about what the film is because he's not going to agree to it otherwise, but he is that good at what he does. It has to be him. It just has to be. Ooh, come on. Overall, I would say the movie itself was okay. Was the intention of it being disturbing was effective? Honestly, I think the biggest thing I got, oh, the sun came out. Okay. That shadow kind of makes it look like I'm crying mascara. Does that work? Okay, well, whatever. The biggest thing that I took out of this personally, not even about the movie itself, but just the fact that I really didn't struggle to watch it. At no point did I feel like I needed to turn it off, or like I needed to stop and try again later or anything like that. So it kind of makes me feel like I am very capable of handling these types of movies, and it makes me feel kind of excited to try more like this. I'm willing to bet that since I was kind of misguided about how difficult it would be to get access to this movie, because I thought it was going to be hard, and it was not hard, that I probably won't struggle as much with a lot of other movies that I've heard of as well. So that makes me feel kind of hopeful that I won't have such a hard time. But yeah, I definitely plan to watch more, and I'm excited about that. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you the next time around.